Hey listeners, Dan Harris here, host of the 10% Happier podcast. Imagine all your audio entertainment available in just one place. That's what the Audible app is all about. With Audible, you can always find the best of what you love or discover something new. Audible has an incredible selection of wellness titles and originals like The Light Podcast by Michelle Obama, Work It Out by Mel Robbins, and Confidence Gap by Russ Harris. Membership includes access to Audible Originals, podcasts, and tons of audiobooks that you can download or stream as much as you want. And as an Audible member, you can choose one title per month from an ever-growing catalog of titles to keep. The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere, whether you're traveling, working out, doing chores, wherever your day takes you. New members can try Audible now free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/Harris or text Harris to 500-500.
The weather is cooling down a bit. The leaves are starting to fall. Yes, it's that time of year again, football season. And we all know the best part of any game day traditions are the ones that involve food. There's nothing like having everyone in your game day crew coming together to bring their best bites and argue over whose family makes the best chili. And while there's no need to mess with the perfection of game day classics, like a freshly grilled Oscar Mayer hot dog topped with Heinz ketchup and mustard, it's always fun to step out of your comfort zone and get creative with your recipes. Because there's nothing more fun than adding to your list of game day traditions, like making a creamy and delectable queso dip with Velveeta cheese that can be eaten with so much more than just chips. Now is the chance for people across the nation to find out whose game day eats reign supreme. It's your turn to show off your tasty game day food traditions. Go to www.gamedayfoodtraditions.com to share a photo of your game day food tradition to enter to win $10,000. Once again, that's www.gamedayfoodtraditions.com to enter to win $10,000.
This is Full Change with Tom Laidlaw.
Oh, Tom, I'm pumped for the show today. We have one of the toughest SOBs to ever put on the Islander jersey.
Oh, an Islander.
We have Mick Vukota.
Buddy, how you doing there? You know what's funny? We never played together. It's like we're brothers, though, too. I think a lot of guys are like that, right? We don't know each other, but we do kind of know each other. So, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And you look great.
Oh, thank you.
It's like you work out occasionally or something.
Oh, geez, don't tell him, Mick. Don't tell him that, please.
Oh,
his
God.
head's already big enough.
Well, Mick, I didn't realize we could work out before when I was playing in the National Hockey League. So now I realized I could do it. So,
yeah, no, they had all those weights and exercise equipment just for show sitting in the back room.
I thought we supposed to tower rack. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't have put the beer cooler between that and the exercise room, and I might have tried it.
No kidding. Isn't that the one thing for me? I don't know how you were. The one thing I didn't anticipate when I came to the NHL was the amount of beer that we were going to drink. That was quite a performance for many years. So,
no, it's not anymore.
I know it's changed now. Yeah.
I got a tour of Northwell, the practice facility a couple of years ago, and after practice, I'm like, "You have a chef?"
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And they're eating sushi. I go, well, when do the guys go out for a pop and wings and a burger? Oh yeah, that's nobody does that anymore.
I know. Isn't it funny? I remember when Kelly Miller and Mike Ridley first came to the Rangers. We went out in the city and they started ordering a glass of milk after the game. And we were outraged. We're like, what? And really seriously, we were mad at him. Like, what are you doing? You're drinking beer.
No, it changed. And I mean, you listen to guys talk, and maybe some of the changes are better. These guys are taking better care of themselves and making better decisions. But man, I miss having fun and sitting down after practice and eating some wings and chugging a beer or two and just building those friendships that once you leave, I think that's what everybody says they miss.
And that's right. And that is the part that people don't see. They say, well, geez, that drinking beer must have been good for you. Well, we kind of live by that code. Listen, you went out last night. I was with you. You better come to the rink the next day and work as hard as you can. So, yeah, we did get pretty close by hanging out together. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So where'd you grow up? Where's your home?
So born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Grew up playing youth hockey there. And then at 16, I had no options. Midget, right? I played AAA midget, really, there are two teams in Saskatoon, very competitive. And then I was like, all right, my mom had an application for the the meat packing plant in Saskatoon, where she worked for 32 years. And she says, you start Friday, fill out that. And I was like, what about school? She goes, no, on the weekends you start. And then that way, when you finish school, you'll get right in full time.
Right.
I'm like, and then my buddy showed up and said, hey, I got an invitation for you to the North Battleford North Stars Tier 2 Junior A.
Right.
And I opened it up and it said, Dear Bill, crossed out, and Mike. And I'm like, I'm going. Like, the slaughterhouse will be there forever.
Yeah.
I'm going with my buddy. And we roll up to North Battleford, 16 years old, first scrimmage, training camp. The coach is Jeep George. He's got a megaphone from the gondola up top saying, I don't know what you effers think you're going to do here, but I plan on having the toughest team in the SAJHL. And, so they don't, no drills, go right to the bench.
Right.
And we're sitting there and the puck drops, fight. And you move down the bench and the puck drops, fight. And I'm like, Jesus, I think we're up next. And I'm like,
now had you fought before, Mick? Did you beat a fighter?
Oh,
right.
No, AAA midget.
Yeah.
I was physical. Like, I would finish my hits.
Right.
I'll go to the net, drive hard, like all that stuff. I've never fought midget.
Right.
And I did bar fight or street fight. Obviously,
Yeah.
I had some background, but not on the ice.
Right.
And I went out there, and the biggest kid came out, no chin strap, a red Jofa. He looked like he was 30.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm thinking, I wonder who's going to get in a fight this shift.
Right.
Looking around, and he's just staring at me, Lades. Like, he's not facing the face off. He's just staring at me.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to get out of here. I go to move. He grabs me, snatches me back, and then just beats the living, like, pounds me to the ice.
Right.
And there's no penalties. You just go back to the bench.
Right.
I look at my buddy. I'm like, Jesus, what the hell did we get ourselves into?
Right.
He goes, I know. And I'm watching as the lines go, oh, no. We're going to go back out. There has been no hockey played for 12 shifts now.
Oh, that's funny.
And I go, you know what? I get out there. He comes up and he stands over me. And he's looking at me, not looking at the face-off. And I don't know why. I've never done this before. Right. I just said, no more. I'm done. I suckered him before the puck dropped.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Dropped him, got on his chest. I think I was crying and spitting at the same time, just whacking his face. And then they pulled me off, and they called the scrimmage. And they're like, that's enough. We've seen enough. And then that kid was going up and down the hallway screaming, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I couldn't leave the locker room till he left the building. The trainers were like, I think he left. But just in case, go out the back door.
Oh, that's funny.
No.
That's
and
funny.
the next day he got arrested and he never came back.
Really? Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah.
So you made the team then? That team?
Yeah. So I made the team. I made preseason. We went to Swift Current. You remember Patty Janelle? Do you ever hear
Sure.
of him?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he's legendary.
So he took over the Swift Current Broncos. And we didn't have the internet or social media. So all we kept hearing is how 3 preseason games, they'd had 3 brawls that Patty had loaded up.
Right.
And we're busing from North Battleford to Swift Current. And the coach goes, listen, your job is to take care of the captain. The captain's like 5'6", 170 pounds, but he happens to be the leading scorer.
Right.
He goes, so you're on his line. I'm like, no problem. So I go out there. First shift, the captain spears the guy in the stomach off the face-off. Guy punches him. I run in. I bumble him up. We go to the box. Penalty box guy in Swift Current goes, are you the new guy? And I'm like, well, I'm supposed to take care of him. He goes, well, good luck, because he had 227 penalty minutes last year.
Oh, is that right?
So he's like Keith Acton.
Oh, okay.
Right? He's that guy.
Right.
I'm like, all right, whatever. He said, keep an eye on the captain. Take care of the captain. Come out, play a couple shifts. Next time, little scrum in front of the net. Somebody punches him. I grab the guy, kicked out of the game. Brawl. I'm in the locker room. I hear the crowd in Swift Current. And I look out. I open the door. I close the door. I open the door. The captain, the coach, and 2 guys are in the stands. And all I hear is, you got to take care of the captain.
Oh, God.
dude, I go out with my like shoulder pads, everything off, just pants and skates, hop the glass. Half the guys on the bench are just like, what? Hop the glass, go up to some fan that's trying to pull my little captain down the aisle, smash him, grab my cap. I'm like, are you good? He's like, son of a gun. Thank you. Like, let's go. RCMP came, and on the bus ride back to North Battleford, I'm in the rookies sit up front, the vets at the back.
Right. Yeah.
He calls me back, hands me a beer, 16 years old. He's like, you did great out there. I'm like, oh, I guess. I mean, this is insane, right? And I see the coach walking down the aisle, and the captain grabs the beer out of my hands, and he goes, what number you want, 12 or 17?
Oh, wow.
And that's how I made and then that's when it clicked, Lades. Like, I'm like, I'm not good enough, but I can add some stuff to the, hocus pocus.
Sure. But you were a pretty good player too, though, Mick, at the NHL level. It's like you played the game, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's so much different now. You have to be it, right? You have to. Yeah. I think my ice time was dictated by the circumstance.
Yeah.
My best. I had a couple seasons with no goals.
Oh, did you join the club?
Yeah. Well, you're playing defense, and you were smothering guys in front of the net,
cross-checking guys. You mean?
Yeah. Well, hey, you're in his house.
That's right. Yeah, that's true too. So, okay, so that was North Battleford where you protected the captain.
Yeah. I was 16.
Right, and then where'd you go from there?
Yeah, so I got called up that year for 3 games with the Winnipeg Warriors, who were at WHL, and I had a goal, assist, and 2 fights. I got beat up by the smallest guy in the Western Hockey League, which probably got me sent back to North Battleford, which was a blessing because I got to play hockey.
Yeah,
in North Battleford, I was on a third line, like I played regular, and I was getting better.
Right.
Following year, I went to Kelowna for a tryout. Same thing. Just they wanted tough guys, and I wouldn't say I was, the best fighter, obviously, but for me it was amount, not quality.
Yeah,
I fought every day till I got in the lineup.
Now, a lot of guys, Mick, when they look back at their career, say they didn't like the fighting, but they did it because they had to. Is that your case, or did you enjoy it?
Well, I loved being a part of a team.
Right.
So I'm an only child.
Okay.
Those are my siblings.
Right.
Being, probably grew up a little self-conscious, anxiety, not being welcomed or felt it. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was like 8 years old, and my parents, I swear my dad did this intentional. They're Serbian. Back then it was called Yugoslavia. My dad insisted that I play the accordion. And to do that, I had to take the accordion box, walk to the bus, get on the bus, go to my music lessons, take the bus home, walk home. Right. The kids in the neighborhood couldn't wait to see me walking to the bus. Like I was that kid.
With your accordion.
Oh my God. Worst brush cut, short flood pants. I get to the bus stop, and the neighborhood hoodlums come around the corner, and they're going to take the accordion. Oh. And I mean, at that young age, I realized like I got to make a choice, right? Bring the accordion home, or my dad's going to destroy me.
Right.
Not like he beat me or anything, but it's just I knew he bought me the accordion.
Sure.
So I got home, I dragged that thing home, and I learned a valuable lesson. If you fight for what you want, sometimes you get it.
Yeah, good. Nice.
And it literally was that simplistic for me that I wasn't tough like a big guy if you really care, other people are going to see that.
Yeah, that's cool. And then they stay away from you after that too, right? They don't come near you anymore.
No, they're like, he's nuts.
Yeah.
The accordion playing gook is, goofball. He's nuts.
I wish we had a video of that.
Oh my God. You should have seen the hair on my neck when I heard him coming around the corner. I was like, no. And then.
Wow.
Do you still play the accordion?
I still have that accordion downstairs.
Seriously, you have it?
I can't play a lick of it.
Oh God, we gotta get you on. We gotta get you on trying to play the accordion.
Oh my God! I think if I would have studied and played, I could have been in John Cougar Mellencamp or all these bands where they have accordion players.
Yep. Yeah, you and Glenn Haley he had the bagpipes.
Oh, the heels.
Yeah.
I know.
That's funny. Okay, so then you finally get called up to Winnipeg or Kelowna. Where'd you play your?
Winnipeg, and then I made Kelowna. Winnipeg sent me back to North Battleford. Kelowna next year I made it, and then Kelowna moved to Spokane the following year.
Okay.
And then I undrafted,
right,
and I went in 19. Bob Strum was my general.
Yeah, Bob
Strummer, he loves his fighters, and he loves to cause the shit so you can clean it up. And he was really good at that. And
tiny little guy too, right? Little guy.
Yeah. And so Strummer got me. So this is how it all started. Like Strummer got me a tryout with the Washington Capitals as a 19-year-old, undrafted.
Right.
I was back in Saskatoon. I worked at a nightclub, bouncing, working the door, that Joey Kocur used to work when he was in junior. And he comes in like close to last call, and he's at the bar, and I'm like, I got a free agent tryout to the Capitals. Right. And I'm like, I got to ask Coach. Like, I don't know him, but I think he knows, like, I know him that I play junior. Right. So I walk up and I'm like, Coco, I don't know if you can help me out, but I'm going to camp. Any advice? He goes, oh man, you got drafted? That's awesome. I go, no, I didn't get drafted. I'm going on a free agent tryout. He goes, oh. I'm like, any advice? He goes, well, first of all, they don't know your name. Right. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you're like number 79 on a 79-man camp roster.
Right.
So you got to get them to say your name.
Oh,
cool. What do you think I should do? He goes, well, you go in there and you're going to fight Dwight Schofield. Right. And I'm like, oh, is he pretty tough? He goes, he's going to kill you. I'm like, well, why would I do that? He goes, because when you lose, you're going to go back and fight him again. And you fight him again. If you don't beat him on the ice, you're going to jump him in the hallway, fight him in the shower, fight him in the parking lot till they say your name.
Wow. That's
cool. I'm like, so this is last call. Like I'm sure Joey doesn't remember this at all.
Right.
Like it was that type of.
Okay.
But I was like, the Bible. All right. Summer. I'm in the gym. I'm just thinking Dwight Schofield. Like I gotta find him. I get to camp. The rookies go early, get their equipment, get set up, and then the bus back to the hotel. Right. And then the veterans start coming in, in their own personal cars. And I'm like, I got to find this guy. So I don't go on the bus. I stay at the rink, and I kind of just sitting there like drinking water out of the water fountain and, thumb funneling and walking around. And in comes Bobby Carpenter, Rod Langway, everybody one by one. But I can't see this Dwight Schofield guy. Right. And this Monte Carlo SS 454 literally comes sliding through the parking lot sideways, drives right up to the front and parks in a handicap spot. And I look at the plate and it says Skonan. I'm like, what's going? This guy gets out in gym shorts and flip-flops, no shirt, and there's veins popping out of his neck, like no neck, but just ripped. Right. Pimples everywhere. I'm like, you gotta be no. Joey wouldn't do that to me. Nobody would do that. Why would you tell me to do that? I watch him walk in. I'm like, that is a man. Veins everywhere. I go, I'm effed. I'm screwed. So I go back to the hotel. I'm like, how do I get? I can't get out of this. So I don't play him for a couple scrimmages. And then the first scrimmage I play him, I go up to him and I nudge him and I go, yeah, we're going to go. Oh. And he goes, stop it. He goes, listen, I got better things to do than, beat the crap out of you. Right. And I go, I respect that. However, if you don't, I'm going to run your goalie right now. Oh. And he looks at me, he goes, you effing punk. And I go, yep. So he drops the gloves and beats the shit out of me.
You do as you're told.
Yeah, as Coach said. And I was like, all right, there's got to be a better way at this, Right. So the practice breaks up. I don't jump him. I don't do anything else Coach recommended. But we had a rookie preseason game against the New Jersey Devils. Those rookie games are like in the afternoon, usually at a practice facility.
Sure.
And I didn't plan it. It just happened. Kid from New Jersey came across the red line and grabbed the puck and warm up. I'm like, here we go. I grabbed the puck from their line and I took a shot on their goal in warm up. Brawl. No coaches, refs, nobody on the ice. Everybody's brawling.
Right.
They finally break it up. They send us to the locker room. Brian Murray comes in. He goes, Jesus Christ.
You had the list.
And I was like, just sitting there, and everybody points at me.
Oh.
And he goes, what? I go, well, that kid came over and took a puck from our side of warm-up. Jesus, what? Are you from the Western League? And I'm like, yeah.
That's how he sounded too.
Yeah. And he goes, what's your name? And I go, Mick Vukota. Mick Vukota? And I just felt like the Wizard of Oz or any other movie. He said my name. Brian Murray said my name.
That's good.
I felt like they'll said. So I stuck around all through camp, and they sent me to bingo with, he was a coach of Hartford, super good guy. Anyways, they sent me to Hartford. I played preseason. I got beat up every fight in preseason.
No, you didn't really?
Andy Ristow, there's this guy down there that's 6'6". They pulled out of a lumber mill and literally held me up against the glass. And I was like, you can drop me anytime. Like, I'm done. And he broke my nose, both eyes black. And I went back to junior as an overage.
Right.
And the guys are like, oh my God. Like, where did you go? It's called the American Hockey League. Apparently there's some assassins out there just waiting. and yeah, so I went back, played that overage year. And then I don't know if you ever heard of a guy, Jerry Tex Eman. He was a head scout for the New York Islanders.
Yeah, it doesn't sound familiar at all.
He's from Saskatchewan.
Right.
He scouted me as an overage. And I had 25 goals and 280 minutes.
Right.
And they at the end of the year, Bob Strum goes, Philadelphia and the Islanders are offering you a 3-way contract. I'm sure, ladies, you remember those.
Yeah, sure.
Well, what
the show?
So a 3-way is the NHL deal. Let's say 150 grand. The American League maybe is 30 grand, and then the East Coast League would be 15 grand or something like that. So
yeah. So mine was 85, 25, and 15.
There you go. Signing bonus too or no?
No bonus. Oh, yeah. Oh, $12,000 sign.
Oh, there you go. That's a big time back then.
I bought a ski boat for $12,000. I figured $500 for gas. And then I got the check, and it was $7,000 because of tax. I didn't know about taxes. I had to borrow $4,000 from my dad to get the boat out of this. Oh, it was insane. I went to camp owing my family, my parents' money.
That's funny.
Yeah. So when we were signing, I kept telling Strummer, like, contact Washington. I think it was David Poyle at the time. And he was like, well, they're not offering you anything. I know, but they gave me a chance. Right. So just like, I don't know how you do it, but tell them that I have 2 contracts. Sure. If they match either one, I'll go to them. I'll play for them because they gave me a chance when nobody gave me a chance.
Sure. Yeah. And
Poyle was like, yeah, we don't believe he has these offers. We're not interested.
Oh. So you didn't have an agent at the time, right?
No.
And that's it's probably Strummer a little bit because he wasn't really, people didn't trust him too much. I think that
yeah, you're right. So, but he had a hook with Philly.
Right.
And then I think for whatever reason, he was able to get me that 3-year deal, 3-way with the Isles. And I literally chose the Islanders. They were this exact same deal because Philadelphia had Dave Brown, Darryl Stanley,
everybody else.
Craig Berube, Tony
was Talkett there too?
Yeah, TikTok was there. Yeah. No, you're looking at like, no.
Sure.
And the Islanders had Brian Curran and Dale Henry.
Right. What year was that then?
Who?
What year was that?
That would have 87.
87. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I went to Isles camp and just was so happy to make the American League.
Yeah.
Like, because we got to the Springfield, and we had a really tough American League team.
Sure.
And we fought every night. I don't know if you've ever seen the video of the the brawl against Springfield versus Fredericton.
No.
But it was our captain was Bruce Boudreau.
Oh.
Like, I've never seen a hockey player look like fucking Humpty Dumpty and just still snag 30 goals.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, he literally, like, I was like, what? You play hockey? I thought it was the trainer. I was like, and then I had to room with him.
Oh, that's funny.
Which was even better.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, wow.
Well, hold on. Give us some Bruce. Could you give us some stories about rooming with Bruce Boudreau?
Well, the only I mean, some will probably get him in trouble, but the only one I'll tell you is he brought one suit.
He's one of those. I didn't know he was like that.
Yeah,
there's a few guys like that.
In a shaving kit for a 3-day road trip to
that's funny.
I'm like, guy.
Oh, that's funny.
But he was good. He was very good to me, in all fairness. And right. I was playing professional hockey. The only I learned I'd never made money like that. It was $1,500 a check every 2 weeks.
Yeah. And
I lived with Rod Dahlman and Todd McClellan, the coach. Yeah. The three of us from Saskatchewan shared Paul Fenton, who's in LA. We shared Paul's. We rented Paul's house, and it was $333 a month for everything.
Wow.
Utilities, but your groceries, everything.
Right.
I'm getting $1,500 every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to this restaurant called Mardi Gras, which is a strip bar, and I've always got minimum $200 in my pocket. Like that's the richest. That's the richest I've ever been.
Sure.
At that time. And one of my teammates, Dale Henry, says to me after like 2 months, he goes, "Hey, how long do you think we make this money for?" And I go, "Well, I don't know about you, but I've got a 3-year contract." No, he goes, "Dumbass. How long throughout the year?" I go, "Well, we get paid every 2 weeks all year for 3 years." Again, no, for 6 months. Right. And my face went white. I was like, I think I have like $80 in my bank account after 3 months. Like, I'm like, ugh. He goes, "Yeah, you need to dial it back."
Right.
Yeah. So then I got called up.
Who was your first game against?
Yeah, Hartford.
Oh, did you get to fight that game?
Yeah, so we got back from New Haven, and I probably crushed 6 or 8 beers from New Haven to Springy, which is 45 minutes, an hour. Because we had no game the next day. Right. We were all going out to the keg, like in Springy. It was a night out.
Right.
And my parents were in town. They were staying at our house. And we get off the bus, and the trainer pulls my bag aside and says, "Gordo wants to talk to you." And I was like, I'm going down? Because I never, ever thought I was ever going up. Oh. I go, I fought this kid, Johnny English. I thought I did good. We won.
Right.
And Gordy Lane, you know Gordo?
Yeah, sure.
So Gordo explains to me that I got called up and I need to be at the Sheridan in Hartford at 10 a.m. For the pregame skate.
Right.
And I was like, Jesus. I wanted to go drinking with the boys and then maybe just go right to Hartford. And guys are like, "You are going home right now. Right. Get some rest." And I did. And I went and told my parents, and my dad told me to stop drinking because one day I would make it.
Oh,
I stood over him and I was like, "Dad, you and Mom are coming to Hartford tomorrow to watch me play." And he goes, Sonny, go to bed.
He didn't believe you?
He didn't believe me.
Oh,
so I had to tell Todd McCullen, "Can you please help my parents get to Hartford tomorrow? I'll leave them tickets at will call," which they did. And so I get in there. I play third line in Springy. Oh. So I'm assuming I'm going to do, third, fourth. And on the board, Terry Simpson was the head coach.
Sure. Yep.
And on the board, it's Greg Gilbert left wing, Brent Sutter center, and me on the right, starting.
Wow.
I'm like, that's some. I've never been nervous, and now I'm just starting to get like, oh my God, whatever. But I'm almost Lade's too dumb to let the reality set in.
Yeah, that's a good thing about it. Yeah.
Which was probably a good thing.
Totally.
And I was just like, well, fuck it. If I'm out here, I'm going to go do it. I got to go do it.
Right.
So we get out there, do warm up. I think Brent Sutter says, whatever you do, don't shoot over Smitty's pads. He'll snap. Even in warm up, like you have to hit him in the pillows, nothing over his pillows.
Right.
I'm like, dude, if I could control my shot like that, I'm pretty sure I'd be scoring more than 3 goals a year. Like it gets away on you. He goes, don't let it get away on you. And I was like, I think I was just like passing it to his pads. Like I wasn't taking the risk.
Right.
And it's 2-2. I'm playing regular shift. And the second period, it's 2-2. And they have last change. And Tiger Williams hops off the bench and lines up next to me.
Oh.
Late. I could tell you my brain, like if you could put it on a screen, there would just be blurs everywhere. All I'm thinking about is my whole life. All my friends back home with those big, huge satellite dishes in their backyard.
Right.
I'm going to fight Dave Tiger Williams.
Oh, that's good.
I'm like, oh my God. I won't even look at him. And he's giving me a nudge and he's chirping and he's like, hey kid, you want to go? And I just nod and I go, And he goes, all right, that puck drops. Let's go. I just stare. I swear the linesman flinched and I sold it all. Stick, gloves, gone. Turn around. So is Tiger. They're in our end. I'm picking up my glove.
Oh, that's funny.
By the penalty box.
Right.
No stick. As I'm coming back to our end, Tiger scores, take a 3-2 lead.
Oh, no.
So I go back to the bench and I'm like, I don't want to look at Terry Simpson, but you can feel those eyes going through the side of you. And I just sit down. And I didn't get another shift.
Oh,
and we tied it, and it was a 3-3 tie. But I never saw the ice again. And after the game, they're loading up the bus to go back to Long Island, and my bag just they walk right by it. They probably didn't see it, so I push it in the middle, and they walk around it.
Oh,
Simso comes up to me. Terry goes, "Listen, what you've been doing in the minors is what's going to get you here one day. So keep doing it." But don't ever effing do something that stupid again. I was like, yes, sir. So I went back to Springy, got there the next morning, Lades. Gordy Lane was our coach again.
Right.
He walks up to me in the locker room before practice, and he says, you and I are going to fight after practice.
Oh. Gordy's pretty tough, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would I fight Mike? I love Gordo. Like, why would I fight you?
Sure.
He goes, don't ask, just we'll fight. So I'm like, all right, maybe he's just playing some mind game, get me to be able to concentrate with that in the back of my brain and, get through a mental toughness drill. I don't know. Practice ends. I go down, take shots with the guys, and Gordo comes out now with shin pads, socks, pants, elbow pads, no helmet, obviously. And he waving at me. I'm like, And the guys are like, you better go down there. And I'm like, I'm not fighting my effing coach, dude. Like this is what I go down there and he goes, let's go. And I'm like, Gordo, I'm not fighting you. I mean, I respect you. I'm not, he goes, shut up. Drop your gloves.
Now, just to interrupt a little bit too, Gordo and defensively, he's a great guy, but he's got a really bad stuttering problem too. So I can imagine how that's coming out when he's saying that.
Yeah.
Right?
Which I learned very early. You don't help or correct. Because that's when he snaps.
Yeah.
So you just sit there and be patient. Pretend it's not happening. Right. Like someone's not poking you in the eye. You just sit. So I know that that's what he's doing. And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe he looks mad and serious.
Yeah.
So I think I'll just drop my gloves and wrestle.
Right.
I'm not going to throw a punch at my coach.
Right.
And I dropped my gloves and I swear I saw like a small smirk. He took his stick, stuck it through my sternum. I swear to God, it came out the back of my spine. I dropped to the ground, couldn't breathe. And he looked at me and he goes, don't ever drop your stick first.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I go, you couldn't tell me that? Go, no, but now you'll remember.
Yeah,
and he skated off the ice. And it's all because I threw my yard sale with Tiger,
right?
That he was teaching me a value, in his mind or opinion. But yeah, that was a whirlwind first year, man. I was insane.
So when did you finally get up to the NHL and stay there?
So I got called up at the playoffs that year. So I got sent down, and then they called me up. Not the playoffs, that the roster move deadline.
Sure.
They sent their first round pick, Brad Delgarno.
Oh, sure.
Who's really a good player, but he wasn't playing physical enough for them, anyways. Right. And he went down, and I came up. And then after that, I just how many
years did you get in the island?
10.
Well, you had 10 years there. Well, that's a good career there, just to that place alone, right?
Yeah, for
you scored that.
Yeah.
So
you scored that first year. Do you remember the first goal?
I do. It was on it's in Hartford, like the second time around, and it was is it Steve Weeks?
Oh yeah, my old college teammate. Yeah.
Okay, so it was Weeksy.
Yeah.
I went down the right wall, just crossed the blue line, and took a slap shot. And I swear it went in the middle of the net, and they pulled him.
Oh, sorry.
I felt bad. Made it 3-0.
Yeah. So you played with Gerald Diddick there too, right?
I played with Diddy. Yeah.
So he was in. So we had an alumni game in Dallas about a month ago, and Craig Ludwig and I were talking about you too. He was saying what good friends you guys have become. But Gerald Diddick, is he allergic to bee stings?
I don't know.
Ooh, he got stung by a few of them, man. He's swollen up. He's a big man.
Oh, he's a big kid now?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
I could see that. That doesn't surprise me.
He was funny. We were in the locker room before the game, and so I've got the camera or my phone, and I'm waiting for him to take his shirt off, and I'm pretending I'm going to take a picture of him with the shirt off. He says, "Don't take a picture of me. You get up at 3:00 in the morning. You've got your own brand. Don't take a picture of me."
Big bully.
Oh, he's funny though. He so I guess he was asking Ludwig. I guess he's done this before. So he got totally undressed up, his underwear on, kind of pulled his underwear up like it was a sumo wrestler, and started going around the locker room. And he's this big man, and he's bouncing around like a big monkey or something.
I know.
He's a good man.
Diddy was tough, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
He came out of that Dave Brown.
Yep.
That era, Joe Kocur, those guys were. Bob Rouse.
Yeah.
Those guys were all punchers.
What's the best fight you've ever gotten in for you that helped went well for you?
Well, I don't like it, but I knocked out El Secord.
Oh, wow.
And I of all the guys I've ever fought, that's the last guy I would want to.
Why do you say that? He's a good guy. He was in Dallas down there too. Yeah.
Well, my father is one of my dad's favorite players.
Oh, is that right?
So the message light was on in the hotel when I got back.
Oh.
And all I heard was, "How could you?"
Oh, is that right?
Like you realize the alternative is him knocking me out or beating the crap out. And my dad, I don't understand. He goes, how could you? That's El Secord. And I was like, that. I don't know.
Wow.
But I did. That's the only guy I think I've ever dropped.
Right. Yeah, I see you fight Kocur. You fought Kocur a few times too. I've seen those fights.
So I think my thing with Saskatoon was, Dave Brown beat me every single time.
Oh, really?
Like I tried, I'll grab his left because I can throw left. I was like, I'll grab his left. All guys have Twister has those big baggy sleeves.
Yep.
Brownie had saran wrap sleeves.
Oh, is that right?
Like you'd go to grab it and you had nothing to grab.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, he's already discharging ammo and you're reaching and it's just like, it's insane.
Right. So what's the worst fight that you ever had? He's got beat the worst.
So the only time I had been dropped was in a very valuable lesson that first year in the minors. Kind of, I was just, you go through the pregame sheet and you see which guys have PIMs.
Yeah.
And there was a kid in Baltimore that was like 6'5", Armstrong, something like that. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to fight him. I'm going to fight the biggest guy because I get nothing to lose. And so I cut him. He went for stitches and they didn't have anybody on the roster. And this, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but I Googled him and he's legit. He's got a beard. He looks like he's got a Winwell or like the old round helmet.
Right.
And he comes up to the face off and I'm just being cocky. Right now I'm overstepping. I'm stepping on sticks. I'm pushing skates. And he looks at me and he goes, don't F around. I'm going to knock you on your ass. And I looked at him like, what are you, like 5'10", 70 years old. He goes, yep, keep it up. And so I do. I keep it up. I give him a little nudge, and off the face-off, he drops the puck, and he goes, okay, let's go. But, Lates, he rolled his sleeve up.
Oh.
I was like, oh, I've never seen that move, except my old man.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, my dad would roll his sleeve up when something was going to happen.
Sure.
So I got cocky, and I lunged at him,
Right.
and he threw like a Jack Dempsey straight down the middle, right on the chin.
Really?
And I just sat down. I was wide awake. I look at our bench, and my goalie's like, wow. The backup goalie, he's like, oh. I went after him in the locker room after the game. The backup goalie,
Really?
you don't ever wow me. He's like, dude, calm down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to keep a journal in the minors. Which guy threw left, like which guy liked to tie up, which guy, and I wrote, don't underestimate anybody in capitals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that it really helped. Like,
Sure.
I mean, you don't, because you never know.
Who was it? What was his name?
Dean DeFazio.
Dean DeFazio. Wow. Did he get called up to Pittsburgh? Was he ever in Pittsburgh?
So yeah, he played, I don't know, maybe a handful of games with the Pittsburgh Penguins, but he was a lifetime skipjack.
Yes. Okay.
Baltimore skipjack. And that's where I fought him, in Baltimore.
Oh, wow.
But nobody said anything. I didn't know anything. And to this day, I swear to God, that was the lesson.
Right. How many fights did you get? Did you keep track of them?
No. I mean, I think in the show, maybe
Hit 100, right?
1,800 minutes.
Correct.
I don't know, over 200.
Right.
But you know what was you never take into account, like training camp.
Yeah. Yeah. Those were zoo. Yeah. Those training camps back then, don't want to bring a puck out the ice. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that first or second training camp I had, Bobby Nystrom coached the rookie game.
Right.
Rangers, Islanders. Rangers had Mark Tenority, Rudy Postchek.
Right. That's right.
Jimmy Lattis.
Was Nyland there then, or is he?
No, Nux wouldn't play in the rookie game. We're all
yeah.
But yeah, no, all these kids out of not just Western Canada, but mostly the junior hockey in Canada. Right. And then the Islanders had myself, Wendell's brother, Kerry Clark, Rod Dahlman, just Todd Ewan, not Todd Ewan. Todd Ewan passed, his brother. Dean Ewan,
right.
Sorry, Dean Ewan, his brother, all these kids that fought, and we played that rookie game. Bobby and I was coaching, and there was fight after fight and Bobby and I was just smiling.
Oh,
right. And then we got in for the first intermission, and I remember Nye walking in, and he goes, "Boys, that was beautiful. That was beautiful."
Oh.
Unfortunately, scouts and upper ups would like to see if any of you have hockey ability. So I'm going to say, if you have to defend a teammate or defend yourself, fine. But we're not going to see any more fun. You got to show your game. Okay. See what you guys can do.
Sure.
And we were all like, but he was so happy. That first period was literally,
that's funny.
Crazy.
He's
one of my all-time favorite people.
Yeah, I got to know him a little bit. Him and Clark Gillies. Unfortunately, lost Clark, but yeah, good guys too. Like tough guys, man. They were both like they knew how to intimidate. They were tough. They could play the game. Yeah, they were good. So you got 10 years with the Islanders. Did you play anyplace else?
Yeah. So, Mike Milbury came into the picture,
right?
And that, and I probably was getting, I don't want to say complacent. But I played for Terry Simpson for a year, who was very demanding and disciplined. And then I played for Al.
Right.
And Al Arbor, if you ever looked over your shoulder to like say something to appease him or whatever, you never find you again.
Oh.
Right. He was all about, he won as a coach, he won as a player, and he wanted you to experience that success.
Sure.
And I feel like Al's way was, you play for each other, and that's the moment. That's the feeling of success, winning together, sacrifice, commitment, all those details that are unselfish.
Yeah. And
after that, that's not what Mike brought. Mike brought an ego.
Yeah.
He brought in intimidation. And honestly, he was so good to me. He liked me. He played me. He liked the way I played. One of his statements, which in hindsight is kind of an insult, is after a period in Philadelphia, he goes, I just want to say Mick Vukota is the best player on the ice tonight, but if he's our best player, we're screwed, which is a fact.
Yeah, but the way
he
was to me, he's one of the most disrespected men in the game ever. I have no use for that man whatsoever.
Yeah. So I'd never seen that, right? And we had a lot of young guys, and I always gravitated to goalies and young guys because the young guys I wanted to protect, and for whatever reason, the goalies and I were both, mentally off. We thought we looked at things differently.
There you go. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. And the way he was treating the younger players, I'd never seen before. Yeah. Like I'd never seen somebody say to a player, "Don't let me down."
Oh, I know.
Right? Never.
Yeah.
It's don't let the kids, the guys next to you, your teammates.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's interesting. That's the difference, right? Al Arbor and the success he had compared to Mike Milbury and the way they approached the game, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it was a tough transition. So that year, I think I was with Mike for 2 years or whatever, but I screwed up on a road trip and demoed a hotel room and chased Mike down the hallway and left him no option but to send me down.
Oh, wait, can you back up a little bit, Mick, and take us through that? Exactly what happened there?
So we were in Detroit. We lost 3-1, and we were headed to the airport for our charter flight home, and we got fogged in. And I go out every night. I go to dinner, we go to drinks. After the game, I don't sit in the hotel unless, I just like to go out. And once the flight was canceled, we got a hotel room out by the airport, like a Holiday Inn Express. And Mike stood up and said, "Nobody goes out tonight. Stay in this hotel. We have a 7 a.m. flight, and you guys sucked. You don't deserve to go out." And a few of the younger guys sitting at the back were like, "F this, let's go." And I go, "You know what? Not for nothing, whether I like him or not, he makes the decisions and we have to abide." So I called the front desk, ordered a bunch of cases of beer up to my room, and I said, "Let's just cut the cards. We'll play cards for a few hours and go to bed, and we'll be out of here tomorrow." And I lost $3,000 in 20 minutes.
Whoa.
So I'm out of the game because I'm on a budget, and I start crushing cans. And as I start crushing cans, I'm a little loud, a little rambunctious, and security comes up. And when security comes up, I tell the guy, "Well, if you come back again, you need to bring like 3 or 4 guys." And so he leaves, and when the next knock on the door, it's Mike. Disheveled, he's been woken up, he's not happy. Looks right by me and names every other player in the room and goes, "You are all suspended indefinitely." And I try to apologize, and I'm like, "Mike, they've got nothing to do. This was all me. I'm sorry." He goes, "No, you're fine.
Oh.
You're fine. These guys are suspended." And if you know anything about me, like hurting my teammates is probably the biggest kick you can give me.
Sure.
Especially for something I did. And I followed him down the hallway, and I was pleading with him. And he got in the elevator, and I stopped the doors, and I looked at him, and he goes, "Don't do it." And I let the doors close. I don't regret it because I don't think that was appropriate. But part of me wishes I just jumped in the elevator with him.
Sure.
And let the doors close. But at the end of the day, it was insubordinate on my part, and it was disrespectful to the organization.
Yeah.
And I put these other guys in a situation which I didn't want to do. So, but yeah, he sent me to the minors. I went down. I had a great year. Butch Goring was my coach in Utah.
Yeah.
And my first game we had a 2-on-1 and I dumped the puck and changed. And when I got to the bench, Butchie goes, Mickey, I know you've been up there a while and you haven't been playing much hockey, but down here we call that a scoring opportunity. Butch was great to me late. So he put me on the first unit power play, front of the net. I think I probably scored 20, 22 goals maybe down. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I had a great experience with Butchie. So then I was going to get buried in the minors. So I had another year on my contract. And Mike wasn't even going to let me come to camp.
Wow.
So he was going to send me straight to the minors. And then Hockey Fate looked out. A bunch of Ken Belanger, Paul Cruz, all his tough guys got hurt before camp.
Right.
And so Rick Bowness was the assistant coach. Bones called me and said, listen, if we bring you to camp, can you do the right thing? And I go, yeah. I mean, I haven't been drinking. I'll have a beer or wine, but I haven't been going out. I've been training for the end of my career. Like I'm in the best shape of my life. And he goes, we'll give you a shot. I went in, I beat Stu Grimson in Carolina.
Ooh.
I beat Rudy Postcheck up in Tampa and somebody else. And Tampa claimed me off waivers.
Oh.
They left me unprotected. But when I got to lead blades, like I got to lead practice.
Right.
I got a stick tap from the boys.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
That's cool.
So it wasn't the shame that I felt the year before when I was a complete idiot. And
again, you made a mistake. You made a mistake. Right. I don't even think it was that bad of a mistake, but yeah. Okay.
Well, you know what I think about now is like, I think about that organization and the way the owners treat the players and the alum now.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I owe them an apology.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that maybe not Mike, but definitely like the people that have invested in this organization, you know.
So that was it then in Tampa? Did you finish a year there?
So Tampa, I played for 3 coaches in 3 months.
Oh.
Terry Crisp,
right.
Interim coach Patterson, and then Jacques Demers comes in.
Jacques came in. Oh.
Okay? So late. So we're not a very good team, but I'm playing every night and I'm fighting when I'm supposed to fight. And I also had my Harley Davidson in Tampa, but I would never ride it to practice,
right.
You know, when Jacques was there. So we went 1-1-1. We won a game, tied a game, lost the game. I waited till we won a game. And then I asked Coach Patterson, could you check with Coach Demers? Does he mind if I ride my motorcycle to practice?
Right.
And he comes in his white long johns and socks pulled up to his knees. And he struts in and he goes, where's Mickey Vukota? And I'm like, and he goes, Mickey, you want to ride your motor scooter to practice? And I'm like, well, Coach, I don't have to. He goes, no, Mickey, you ride your motor scooter. But Robbie Zaminer, he cannot ride your motor scooter. He named like the top 6. Oh. They cannot ride your motor scooter, but you can ride your motor scooter. And he walked out, and I was like,
motor scooter.
I know.
That's
and so Chris, that year was 97. Was an all-star, maybe an Olympic break, and I get a phone call, my wife and I in Tampa, and it goes, Mickey, Jacques Demers. And I'm like, hello? And he goes, you've been traded to the Montreal Canadiens.
That's right, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's one of the guys. So I hung up. Ring, answer again. Mickey Vukota, do not hang up on me. This is Jacques Demers. And I'm like, Coach, what's up? He goes, you've been traded to the Montreal Canadiens. And I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah, me, Patrick Poulin, and Igor Ulanov,
right,
for Stefan Richer, Jason Cullimore, and Darcy Tucker.
Oh, wow.
Huge, right?
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So get everything packed. We go to Air Canada in Tampa, first class seats. It's still the break. And I sit with Patrick Poulin, and I'm like, Bacardi and Coke? He goes, no, guy, you don't understand where we're going. I'm like, it's all-star break. He goes, yeah, no, there's going to be cameras, media. He was right.
Oh, wow.
You get off that. Plus, Stefan Richer left. You know what I mean? So that's a big deal.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I played 20, maybe half a season for Tampa, and then half a season for Montreal.
Oh.
And then that was it.
Oh, that was it. So what made you quit then? You just no more options, or?
Yeah, no. So I went. I kept her going in Utah, playing for the Grizzlies in the American Hockey League, and thinking that I get myself up. And then in a fight, I had this individual that I really didn't like, and I dropped him, and he was going down, and I thought I should just hold him up a little longer for one more dirty one.
Right.
And I heard a pop, and I just sat down, and I broke my pelvis.
Oh, wow.
I pulled the groin, like instead of the groin tearing, the groin attached to the bone broke off.
Oh, God. Oh.
And so when I got off the ice, the trainer and the team doctor, they're like, "Oh, it's definitely a hernia." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we just, they run you to the hospital, make sure it's not ruptured or anything."
Right.
And I get there in Utah. Obviously, Sunday is a no-go day.
That's right.
Right? They all go to the church, and it's Saturday night. And the guy's telling me, he goes, "Listen, you got a hernia. I'm going to give you some morphine. We're going to push it back in. And then Monday we'll go in there and put some mesh."
Oh, God.
And I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there, and he goes to poke that pocket, and I folded like I grabbed him and pulled him in. Right. And I said, "Whatever you did, don't do that again, please." Wow. And then he goes, "Fine, we'll do surgery tonight." And the next morning, next day, I woke up and I had all these cauterized stockings on my legs. And the girl's like, "Well, you had an interesting evening." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" "Well, they went to fix your hernia and discovered that you broke your pelvis."
Oh, wow.
And so that pocket wasn't a intestine. It was a pocket of blood from where the bone broke off.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I should have retired, but I think your ego.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I came back and I played, and it was never the same. And the scar tissue, every now and then you would do something in a skating drill or in the game, and you would feel like you tore it again. Oof. But it was really just scar tissue, but didn't feel like it was worth it.
Right.
And so that was the end.
Wow.
That's when I decided, like, I'm not going to play for $75,000. Yeah. I'll go work at the Dukes County Sheriff's Office for $40,000. I'll show them.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you doing now? What are you doing now then?
So now I'm in waste management. I manage a company on the vineyard that we Martha's Vineyard out in Mass, where we transport all of our stuff off island. Oh, okay. And so I arrange whether it's construction, recycling, everything that gets shipped off, because we don't have a landfill or a compost facility. So I do that.
Very cool. Well, Mick, you and I, we know each other, but I haven't really sat with you for an hour and had you told stories before. You're quite the storyteller. Good job here today.
Yeah, you got a lot to edit.
No, just gonna leave it like that.
No, we got plenty. We just want some accordion playing, and then we go.
Oh yeah, we got to get you on with the accordion. That's right too. We got to get that. Yeah, well, Mick, listen, I mean this as a compliment. We've had some great guests on, both their stories they're telling now and their path to the National Hockey League. How you just wouldn't quit. You're certainly one of those guys. You're a ton of character. And again, what I really loved about you, when I saw you play, and when you talk now about how important it is for you to take care of your teammates and how much that meant to you. So, good job.
I appreciate that, Lades. I think. That's you're taught that, right? Yeah. I think I wasn't obviously the first, but it's a special bond. Yeah. To be able to take care of your buds.
Yeah, definitely. Great to see you again. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, Mick, do you still hate the Rangers?
He's got his Islander jacket.
I got my Isles hat on, but you know what? I don't. And I was at the alumni game we were supposed to go to the alumni game this year. Yeah. 50th anniversary.
That's right.
And I have an 8-year-old, Lades.
Right.
And he got COVID.
Oh.
Or he tested positive at school. Right. And I was like, I can't. You got Jigs McDonald. I got all these other guys there. I'm not going to jump. So I didn't go. Oh. But the year before, Heels is like, hey, come into this box. I want to meet. I met Ty. I'd never met Ty Domi before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you know what? I hated him when we played.
Right.
But I love Ty. Like, the one thing he did was everything he said he was going to do.
Yeah. He didn't back up from anybody. Yeah.
He ran his mouth, but he backed it up.
Funny that if you see Ty Domi, he's got this little body on him. He's built, but he's got this big block head. Like I would never want to fight him.
Bigger than yours?
Yeah, it's
yours?
bigger than mine. Like compared to the body. Yeah.
No, Lades, I'm telling you, I stopped in the middle of a fight because my hand hurt.
I know.
That never happened ever.
Like
literally, I was like, "Oh my god!" And I think you'll hear that from everybody that's ever smashed the top of his head.
So this is a bad joke. It's terrible. But if you switch around the letters of Ty Domi's name, you get me idiot. I don't know.
I just hope he didn't see me laugh.
I know. He's a good guy.
No, he's a great guy.
Yeah. Well, great to see you again. Thanks very much for doing this, Mick.
Lades, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, bud.
Thanks, Mick.
Good to see you again.
Thanks, Tommy.
Tom, our listeners are going to love that one. What great stories he had. Great storytelling.
Mick Vukota, I've known him a little bit. I didn't know he was a storyteller like that. That was one of the funniest hours we've had with him on the show. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was absolutely great. Love it. We got to get him on again. We get some more stories because he was awesome.
Got to get him playing that accordion too. That'd be fun.
That would be a home run. Absolutely.
Great show. All right, Grasshoppers. Thank you for listening. We had a fantastic show. We'll see you next time.